What's up, BlueTube? It's your boy, the Blu-ray Bandit. I went pawn shop hunting here at the home base in Orlando, Florida. Let's see what I got. First up is a La Familia. I spent $10 for 5 titles. That's $2 each. Paradise Hills. This is a blind buy for me. I've never heard of this movie. It stars Emma Roberts, Daniel McDonald, Aquafina, Eiza Gonzalez, and Mila Jovovich. Rebel Against Perfection. I have no idea what this is, but based on the cover, it looks like some kind of fantasy, possibly sci-fi movie. I'm not quite sure, but it looks colorful. I like a couple of the actresses right there on the cover. So the marketing worked for me, a blind buy at $2. We'll see if it's good enough to get added to the shelves. Lions for Lambs, starring Robert Redford, Meryl Streep, and Tom Cruise, a film by Robert Redford. Now, I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie, but I really don't remember anything about it. These people kind of look like lawyers. Then you've got a battle scene down here. Evidently, there's some kind of war element to it. I don't know. Again, I think I've seen this movie at some point. I'm pretty sure I've seen almost all of the movies Tom Cruise has starred in. Either way, it's scanned for about $12 on eBay. So I figured I'd pick it up, rewatch it at some point, and if I ever wanted to flip it, it fetches a decent amount to go towards paying for titles in this haul I'd rather keep. Another Robert Redford movie. This is The Company You Keep, starring Robert Rodriguez, Shia LaBeouf, Sam Elliott, Terrence Howard, Anna Kendrick, Britt Marling, Stanley Tucci, Nick Nolte, Chris Cooper, and Susan Sarandon. This film has a very stacked cast, and also another movie I never heard of. I doubt it's necessarily a riveting, resonant political thriller. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't seen it. It doesn't fetch much on eBay, but at only $2, even though it's a blind buy, I figured it was worth the spin. The Last Airbender, and also one of the last movies I don't have from M. Night Shyamalan. Now, as I look at it now, here a few days later, I probably shouldn't have picked this up, even for $2, just because there's a little bit of damage right there, like right there on the insert. So replacing the case on this one is not going to fix that. You know, if I'm going to buy used, even if the case is a little scratched up, as long as the insert and the disc looks good, I go ahead and pull the trigger. But normally when the insert is not good, I will leave it unless it's got a pretty decent value. So for now, added to the shelf, but still on the hunt for a better copy. Also, as somebody who's never seen a single episode of The Last Airbender anime, I didn't hate this movie. Finally, for this first pawn shop, we have Moonwalkers, starring Ron Perlman and Rupert Grint. Evidently, it's based on a true conspiracy theory, which is interesting. Another movie that is a total blind buy for me. I have no idea if this is any good, but we'll see. I'm going to add it to the shelf for now, and if I ever want to get rid of it, it's not worth a whole lot, about $3 on eBay. I paid $2, added to the shelf until I get a chance to watch it. Next up, we've got a big one. This is from Cash America. I paid $19.26 for 18 titles, bringing the per title average to $1.07 each. John Q, starring Denzel Washington, Robert Duvall, Anne Heche, and Ray Liotta, amongst others. I have seen this movie once when it first came out. It's basically a legal drama, I guess, about a guy whose son, I believe, has some kind of incurable disease or something like that, and he can't get medical care, or the medical care that he wants or believes he deserves. I don't remember. And then maybe he brings a gun into the hospital and tries to get a doctor to do what he can at gunpoint, something like that. I don't remember the details of John Q, but at $1, I had to snatch it up. Revolutionary Road, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. I believe the director on this one is Sam Mendes. Yes, Sam Mendes, who directed a bunch of the more recent 007 movies. I enjoy those movies. I enjoyed this movie from what I remember. It was kind of billed as the reunion of Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. The last movie those two starred in together being Titanic. That expectation was pretty high. The film was a little bit of a letdown to a lot of people, but I enjoy it. It's a pretty solid drama with two great actors doing what they do, added to the collection. Magic Mike's Last Dance with minty slipcover. This is a movie I've never seen, but I bought because it's directed by Steven Soderbergh, and I'm trying to collect all of Steven Soderbergh's movies. I already have the original Magic Mike, and I'm not 100% sure he directed the second Magic Mike. I forget what that movie is titled. This is the third with Salma Hayek. At some point, I'm going to watch... with digital code. Yeah, at some point I'm going to watch the Magic Mike trilogy. I think I might have all three at this point. I don't remember. If I do, I'll give it a watch. If not, I'm going to wait until I get that second movie. Next up, we've got an action 2-pack featuring The Replacement Killers, starring Chow Yun-fat and Mira Sorvino, and Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, starring a bunch of people. Longtime viewers of this channel know that I love my 2-packs, especially when it adds 2 movies to the collection that I didn't previously have as individual titles. I didn't have either The Replacement Killers or Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. I've definitely seen The Replacement Killers, but maybe not the extended cut. And I have not seen Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, but I do remember seeing it on the Blockbuster shelves and thinking, I should rent that. And then I never did. Now I've got the chance to watch it on this $1 2-pack. The Way Back. Now, this is a movie that you probably haven't seen, and that's because when it came out, it was generally ignored. It kind of came out late 2019, and at that point, actually for quite a while, I think people were just kind of tired of Ben Affleck. He very publicly had an issue drinking, probably still does on some level. He disappeared from movies for a bit, and then this was kind of one of his comeback movies, and it is a very solid little sports drama. It's definitely lighter on the sports. Ben Affleck plays kind of a reluctant coach who takes on the task, with digital code, who takes on the task of kind of shepherding the youth of this basketball team, basically taking them from rags to riches as he helps them try to save their season. I enjoyed it. It's underseen. If you get the chance, check it out. Speaking of M. Night Shyamalan, here's another one. This one is lesser known from him, kind of his comeback film, The Visit. I'm pretty sure this one is a found footage presentation, which is kind of a different format for M. Night. I really enjoyed the twist in this movie. You'll never look at your grandparents the same, that's for sure. Yeah, not the best M. Night movie, but it brought him back into the fold. I'm trying to collect all of his films, at least the ones that are available on Blu-ray and up. I'm looking at you, The Village. Added to the collection. Another one added to the collection. This is The Train Robbers, a John Wayne Western classic. I think maybe I've seen this movie. I don't know. My dad used to always watch John Wayne Westerns like every Saturday afternoon. So I've seen bits and pieces of quite a bit of them. I feel like I've seen just about all of them, but I wouldn't exactly put it on my letterbox because I couldn't tell you one from the other. It looks like this one has a little break in the case right there. So I'm going to need to replace the case before I put it on the shelves. Bad Times at the El Royale, another one that I feel is definitely underseen. This movie stars Jeff Bridges and Dakota Johnson, John Hamm, Kaylee Spaney, and Chris Hemsworth, amongst others. If you like movies like Pulp Fiction or some of the crime films from the 90s, this felt like a pretty decent impression of crime thrillers from that time. It's written and directed by Drew Goddard, who I believe worked on the recent Planet of the Apes trilogy. Yeah, it's another digital code. Yeah, it's a fun film. I remember at the time thinking it's a little long. I don't remember what the runtime is. Let's see. Yeah, 141 minutes, so 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I'm pretty sure there's a 4K of this. When I find that, I'll make the upgrade, but for now, adding Bad Times at El Royale to the collection. Here's a pretty recent movie. It's She Said, which I believe maybe came out last year or the year before. This one's got a date of 2020, so about 3 years ago. It comes with this minty slipcover, and it is brand new and still sealed. This is a movie I have seen and endorse if you like kind of procedural dramas, especially ones about reporters. This one covers kind of the beginning of the Me Too movement and the uncovering of Harvey Weinstein as a scumbag. It's a good one, added to the collection. Here we've got Denzel Washington in Out of Time. One of his spate of action movies from the 90s, maybe the aughts. I don't really remember. And honestly, I don't really remember the details of this movie. I'm assuming he's, saving somebody. And if he doesn't do it by a certain time, then he will be out of time. I don't remember. But someday I'd like to give this movie a rewatch. I don't know when that will ever happen. But if the opportunity presents itself, no matter what the streaming services have available, it won't matter because I've got my physical copy. Speaking of Denzel Washington, this is the Blu-ray Essentials version of The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Now, this is the remake of the original film. It's a Tony Scott movie featuring Denzel Washington and John Travolta. And it comes with this slipcover that I'll probably throw away. I'm not sure it's coming across on camera, but man, this slipcover has definitely seen better days. It feels kind of sticky and just gross, and I don't think I can clean it up. It's also really, really banged up. So probably just going to throw the slipcover out and keep the film, which I've already seen and I enjoyed. It's a solid action thriller about a bomb on the subway in New York City, I believe. Some city. I don't remember exactly. We got the movie, and here's the DVD and the digital copy. Yeah, I'm getting quite the little Denzel Washington action movie collection, so I'm going to keep the ball rolling and add this one to the shelf. At $1 a piece, I couldn't resist Sanctum from executive producer James Cameron. I remember this movie kind of being a big deal at the time because nobody had seen anything from James Cameron. I'm pretty sure this is pre-Avatar, possibly. Nope, 2010, just after Avatar. And even though James Cameron had nearly nothing to do with this movie, the fact that he was a producer got the headline on all the marketing. And I think a lot of people expected a lot from this movie. And when they saw it in the theater, it was just a decent thriller. That being said, I've never seen this. And so for just $1, I figured it was worth the roll of the dice. 12, directed by Joel Schumacher. This was a blind buy for me that I normally wouldn't buy were it like $2 or $2.50. But for $1, I was like, hey, I like some of these people. I like Rory Culkin. I like Curtis Jackson, a.k.a. 50 Cent. I like Emma Roberts. I generally like Joel Schumacher movies. So why not give this one a shot? I have no clue what it's about, but if you've seen 12, let me know if it's worth a watch or if I wasted my dollar. It's only worth about $2 on eBay, so if I decide not to keep it and I flip it for $2, I'll still make a teeny tiny profit. The Omen. This is the reboot film of the series from the year 2006. This movie stars Julia Stiles, Liev Schreiber, and Mia Farrow. I remember it being a decent little reboot. I know a lot of people really love the original Omen series, but man, you watch those movies nowadays and it's dated for sure. It's not very scary. And the series was definitely in need of a reboot. I'm not sure this was the film to do it, but I'll pretty much watch and or buy anything that's $1 that features Julia Stiles. And with that criteria, this fit the bill. Next up, we've got not one, but 2 copies of The Tree of Life starring Sean Penn and Brad Pitt, written and directed by Terrence Malick. It's a very slow, esoteric drama. Definitely an acquired taste, I would say, but the first several minutes of the film, basically like the opening credits or so, are pretty darn amazing and worth the price of admission alone. I bought these 2 copies to give to 2 buddies of mine that I know are fans of the film. If there's ever a movie I wish would get the 4K treatment just for the picture alone, it would be Tree of Life. I already own a copy for my collection. These 2 I'm giving away. Here we've got The X-Files. If you ever see X-Files or its sequel in a pawn shop or when you're out Blu-ray hunting, as long as the price is right, definitely pick it up because this copy of the original X-Files is worth about $10. Nothing too crazy. There is a 2-pack of the 2 X-Files movie that will run you about $35 to $40. Not quite sure why these are so rare on Blu-ray, but they are. This case is kind of gross. I need to see if I can get that sticky off. This was amongst one of the first Blu-rays to be released. It includes a digital copy disc that's totally useless at this point. There's the Blu-ray. I don't own either of the X-Files films, so this one's getting added to the shelf. And the last title in this haul is Inception on 4K Ultra HD with high dynamic range. Yeah, this is the only 4K in this haul, and maybe the cheapest I've ever bought a single 4K for. I mean, basically I paid $1.07 for this movie. Inception, you know it, you love it, everyone loves it. It's a classic from Christopher Nolan. You've all seen this movie, another one added to the 4K collection. Next up, we got a little baby haul, one title for $2.11 at Goodwill. And that title is Baraka, brand new and sealed. This movie fetches about $19 on eBay, brand new and sealed. It's actually a decently hard title to find. Evidently, it was scanned from 70 millimeter to 8K and then downsampled to Blu-ray. This is kind of an experiential documentary of sorts. And man, talk about a movie that definitely deserves a 4K edition. It would be Baraka, especially when it comes to documentaries. I like the movie, but I'm going to flip it. Selling this title will go a long way towards paying for a bunch of the titles in this haul that I plan on keeping. And our final stop in this haul brought us to Guns and Comics. That's quite a combination. I paid $11.08 for 2 titles. That's a per title average far higher than I would typically pay for standard Blu-rays, so it would have to be something special. Let's see what I got. Dungeons and Dragons, the 2-movie collection, includes Dungeons & Dragons and Dungeons & Dragons Wrath of the Dragon God. Now, this store, Guns and Comics, I'd never been inside of it, and they had a small Blu-ray section full of the usual suspects. This was pretty much the only one I was interested in. This 2-pack runs about $25 on eBay. I've never actually seen these movies. I remember there were a couple live-action Dungeons and Dragons movies, maybe in the early 2010s or late aughts. I also remember hearing they were awful, but I still want to give it a shot. I enjoyed the recent Dungeons & Dragons reboot movie. I doubt these will be quite as entertaining. For now, added to the collection, but it's good to know if I ever want to get rid of it. It fetches a decent value. And there we go. 27 titles, total cost of $42.45. That's a per title average of $1.57 each, and a total estimated value of $154. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell. And don't forget, downward is the only forward. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.